Alright, Abel and the rest of the Dragon Ball Protest. It's time for my Dragon Ball Evolution defense video response to you, Abel. And also, this video is me, once again, more so repeating and justifying my reasons for watching Dragon Ball Evolution over your atrocious and garbage Amazing Spider-Man films, and more justification for protesting and banning those films, but supporting films like Dragon Ball Evolution. So with that being, because before I get started, because when it comes to you, Abel, no matter how many times we do this, whether it's in the comment section or whether it's me doing videos, you never seem to learn your lesson. Yeah, most of this stuff will be stuff I've said in the last 10 plus years with a couple of new things. But you never learn. And you probably never will learn, which is why the comment section is closed. Video responses and real fights only. So with that being said, number one, much to my surprise, when viewing The Amazing Spider-Man's Part 1 and 2 and Dragon Ball Evolution. Now, I'm going to say this because I'm a biased Dragon Ball Evolution fanboy and a biased hater and protester of the Amazing Spider-Man films. But if I had to put biasness and fanboyism aside and actually watch and grade both movies, I would have a much better time. At Dragon Ball Evolution. It's much shorter, and its storyline and special effects, dialogue, acting are surprisingly better than The Amazing Spider-Man. Goku's journey to find the 7 Dragon Balls before the blood moon re-eclipses the sun and bring forth Piccolo's disciple Ozaru. While they could have done a better job of explaining it to newcomers, that was surprisingly more believable than Peter Parker stealing an intern's badge, breaking into Oscorp, and getting spider powers, and now he has to stop the lizard. Who has a missing arm, keeps injecting himself with serum and wants to turn everyone into lizards, who will just recently turn back because his serum isn't permanent. Then the second movie, you can barely even explain what the plot that was. Peter Parker breaks up with Gwen Stacy and has to fight Electro and Green Goblin with a parent subplot and a Sinister Six subplot thrown in there, and neither of those plots go together, and neither do the Sinister Six and Rhino's plot and parent subplot add anything to the film. You can remove those two, and your film and The Amazing Spider-Man would not be any different. Not only would not be any different, the film would have actually been good if you had removed the crappy parents subplot, which doesn't add to anything. At least every character, every scene we saw in Dragon Ball Evolution had a purpose, and brought something to this movie. Which brings me to number 2. DBE Dragon Ball Evolution had a better cast of characters, actors, and acting, and the entire cast of DBE, excluding Chow Yun-fat and Ernie Hudson and Rando Du Kim, were a series of B B, C, D list actors, and they were better. At least in their films, they don't repeat the same thing over and over. I break up with you. I break up with you. That's a question. That's a question. I don't know. I don't know. They don't repeat the same things. They don't say cringeworthy jokes, and they don't say cringeworthy, horrible jokes like Laundry Sheriff. Laundry Sheriff. They don't have cheesy one-liners. They have cheesy one-liners, but they're not terrible, cringeworthy one-liners every minute, even minutes where the characters should be serious. Characters, especially Peter Parker, should be serious. During the fight with Electro, both scenes. In the first scene, you got a violent, unstable blue Electro man in the city, and Peter Parker is thinking of every stupid, witty joke he could think of. He was finding enough time to put on a fireman's hat. Later in the film, you got Electro, more powerful than ever. Peter Parker, still making bad jokes, and his jokes got him caught by Electro's lightning, had to be saved by Gwen Stacy. It's another reason Peter Parker sucks in this film. They tried hard to make Peter Parker, Spider-Man, a badass. But he was the most wimpy, the most pussiest Peter Parker. He couldn't beat Lizard, Electro. He couldn't beat Lizard and Electro without Gwen Stacy's help. And Electro and Lizard, and especially Electro, are not powerful villains. Peter Parker has beaten both of those guys easily every time, especially with Electro. Electro always needed help to beat up Spider-Man, despite his great power. So, Goku in a shorter time was able to beat 6 bullies without touching them. Learn via montages and learn the sacred learn the chi related attacks with Chi-Chi's and Roshi's assistance. Next, defeated the Fulham Warriors, made a bridge, and got the next Dragon Ball. And easily beat mine, and with Roshi's assistance, conquered the Ozaru power, and used his power to confront and defeat Piccolo. Final battle. Gwen Stacy. Everyone likes to say how much useful she was. Gwen Stacy in The Amazing Spider-Man was a useless, overpowered Marisu. She was good at everything. He was more of a hero than Spider-Man was. When she, first off, bastards not supposed to know who Peter Parker is. Number two, she damn sure is supposed to be on his adventures, and instead of being captured and being dropped from the bridge, now she idiotically rushes into danger herself, freeing Peter Parker from any guilt, missing the purpose of the death, and basically being the most useless Mary Sue ever, because her whole existence was to be Peter Parker's girlfriend, die, and set up the next lead, which was Mary Jane. They tried hard to make Gwen Stacy, Bulma and Chi-Chi. This is how you improve characters and make them more useful and more involved in the storyline. We've already talked about how much better Bulma and Chi-Chi were, and this goes out to all you Dragon Ball protesters. Everyone thinks this, even haters of the film. Haters of these movies, Dragon Ball Evolution, they hate Goku's portrayal. And personality in this film. They like the improvements to characters like Chi-Chi, Bulma, and of course Roshi, especially Chi-Chi and Bulma. They for the most part kept the same characteristics. It's like they fused her with that launch character. They made her tougher, rowdier, and stronger and much more independent. They got rid of all the Negative female stereotypes. Bulma was every negative female stereotype and is easily the worst and most useless character in Dragon Ball. In Dragon Ball, they invent literal plot devices to make it seem like Bulma. In the original Dragon Ball, they invent literal plot devices to make it seem like Bulma's useful when she's just a useless Marisu. Yeah, she can do impossible. She's a regular human who can do impossible shit. She and Dr. Briefs off screen were able to develop a radar that tracks Dragon Ball energy, magic. How did you do that? Even though neither one of those characters had come into contact with the Nameks or the makers of the Dragon Ball until several seasons and episodes after that. She was able to make a controller device to shut down the androids, even though 1, she's never worked on the androids, 2, she saw the weaker model in Dr. Gero. She didn't see Android 17, 18, Android 18 and 16, and people will say, well, she worked on 16. That was after the Imperfect Cell saga. I'm talking about during the Android Imperfect Cell saga when she gave Krillin the controller to shut down the androids. She never fought 17 or 18, or even worked on them. How could she make the controller capable of shutting them down? No, like I said, they invent plot devices to make her seem like she's unuseful. No, she's the Sakura of Dragon Ball, and she's worse than Sakura, because at least Sakura, it was a story, it was development. She grew out of that. Bulma never grew out of that. She never rose. Her only rise was becoming president of Capsule Corp. And the Dragon Ball Super still spamming Dragon Balls. Never learns, never grows up, never learns or quote unquote grows up. She's every negative stereotype. She is weak. She is useless. She is needy. She's a Karen, and she's a Gari Sue, man. Sue. Then don't get me started with Chi-Chi. Now, between Bulma and Chi-Chi, a lot of people consider Chi-Chi to be worse than Bulma. I consider Chi-Chi to be at least better than Bulma, but both of these characters suck. You got before I get to Chi-Chi, then let's go back to how much superior Dragon Ball Evolution Bulma was. I mentioned and despite Bulma being stronger, rowdier, tougher, and having guns and having martial arts training, she was still very much weak. She lost to Mai, whom Goku and Chi-Chi technically beat twice. Chi-Chi beat her at the Toy Sun tournament, and Chi-Chi got the best of her during that melee fight. Goku easily defeated her after the Fulham fight. Then later Goku attacked the wrong Chi-Chi. It wouldn't have made any difference. He attacked the wrong Chi-Chi and knocked out the real Chi-Chi, but if he went for mine, it would not have been any different. Yet Bulma got her butt kicked twice from mine, and people said she wasn't smart. She had to throw the glider. At mine, and that still didn't work. And still, at the end of the day, even though he's much weaker in this universe, had to be saved by my boy Yamcha in this film. So, once again, Bulma sucks. I wish you people would stop with the Bulma and Chi-Chi. Nobody cares about Bulma and Chi-Chi. And I wish you people would stop pretending you care. If you like those characters, more power to you. But stop pretending they're good, and stop pretending people care. The only reason I wanted Bulma and Chi-Chi here, I was even mad there were casting choices of Bulma over Tien Chaozu and the other characters from Dragon Ball. The other characters from Dragon Ball who didn't make the cut in Dragon Ball Evolution. I was mad that we saw people like Chi-Chi and Bulma, and all those people from Goku's high school and these made up characters. I now think these characters are some of the best ever. But let's go back to Bulma and Chi-Chi. The only reason anyone wants Bulma and Chi-Chi around, if I want a Gohan, if I want a future Trunks, Goku and Vegeta, they have to beat and marry Bulma or Chi-Chi, or at least some woman. They have to get with some woman for those characters to exist. So stop with the bullshit. Abel, Dragon Ball Protest, Danny's D World, each of you motherfuckers. You can like Bulma and Chi-Chi, but stop with the bullshit. Stop pretending these are great characters. These are great characters. These are great characters. No, they're stereotypes. They're every negative female stereotype, and they set women back 50 plus years. Not every woman can be powerful and strong and useful in battle like Goku, but they can at least be stronger, more independent, and do other things than for Chi-Chi. Be a common housewife, do all the cooking, cleaning. You don't really see her with any form of job or career choice, and that's the only reason Bulma's considered better, because Bulma at least became president of Capsule Corp. But I can at least consider Chi-Chi to be a lesser of the two evils, because at least she can fight. But she beat a couple of no-names in the preliminaries and got her ass kicked in the got her ass kicked in the finals. Got her ass kicked in the semifinals. By Goku, with Goku not even laying a finger on her, just using some wind shockwave maneuver, knocking her out the ring. She busted out a cool combo, only to lose to and earlier she killed a dinosaur in a ridiculous fashion. Exaggerated fashion. Chi-Chi in the movie was a rival to Goku, knew more about chi and ki related attacks than he did, assisted him with his ki and chi training, won the Toy Son tournament, defeated Mai twice, and last but not least withstood an assault from Goku. Why would I be impressed with anything anime Chi-Chi? The only defense anime Chi-Chi has is that this is a DBE Chi-Chi, this is a younger Chi-Chi. So if had Dragon Ball Evolution continued, the Chi-Chi of that film would have became the Chi-Chi of Z. But at least they would have made it more believable, more realistic, and just less stereotypical, man. Less stereotypical. But yeah, once again, stop with the bullshit that characters like Bulma and Chi-Chi are great characters. Oh, it's such a crime that DBE ruined those two women from Dragon Ball, two of the worst fictitious women of all time. Yeah, Bulma, Chi-Chi, early Lois Lane, and Roxanne and her friends from the Ultimate Muscle franchise are some of the worst female characters ever. They're arrogant, needy, useless, and weak, and just every negative stereotype associated with females. So yeah, even haters agree Bulma and Chi-Chi were better in what's his name. Okay, now let's continue with the characters. Roshi. Since I mentioned him earlier, let's talk about Master Roshi. After seeing Chow Yun-Fat's legendary, realistic performance, which a lot of people praise Chow Yun-Fat, while his Roshi gets mixed opinions because of his toned down pervertedness, which I've defended before, I'm going to defend again, and his character design in the movie. A lot of people respect and appreciate Chow Yun-Fat and like this new rendition of Roshi, yes. But after seeing his legendary performance and the other guy in the 80s and 90s Dragon Ball live action film, the Chinese Thailand one, after seeing in that version, that Roshi was animated, like you took him out of the comic book and put him into live action. Whereas the new Roshi, which is Chow Yun-Fat, the modern Roshi was just so much better and so much more realistic. After seeing how badass Roshi was in DBE, what would I like from the show, the original Roshi, this lame, perverted, dirty, overpowered, overpowered Garisu weak old man. Old man Roshi is one of the series. He's one of the series' premier characters, and just like Goku, just like Vegeta, just like Krillin, Bulma, Chi-Chi, Goten and Trunks, he is one of the franchise's worst and most overrated characters. Is Roshi. Is Roshi. After the King Piccolo saga, he was completely useless. He was completely useless for the rest of the series. He was completely useless for the rest of the series. Got killed by Majin Buu in the worst way possible. Got turned to chocolate blast, running for his life, running and flying for his life, and somehow in Super, after being useless for the entire series, somehow they try to reckon him as secretly training on the island. Somehow him regular island training is comparable to the King Kai Kami hyperbolic time chamber, and the gravity spaceship training allows him to compete with Super Saiyan level people, and be the strong. He's now the second strongest human, completely shitting on characters like Tien, and of course even Yamcha, even more. Roshi, he always sucked, even when he was good. The King Piccolo saga, Roshi from the anime and manga. Roshi, instead of killing Roshi, he did three smart things and one dumb thing. First smart thing: assemble a team to find the Dragon Balls and banish Piccolo from that world. That was the first smart thing he did. Actually, no, one smart thing. The second smart thing he did wasn't smart. I said three, only one. The second smart thing wasn't. When he got his Dragon Balls, instead of hiding his Dragon Balls and confronting Piccolo alone, because just in case you lost, Piccolo would not have all 7 Dragon Balls. No, you show your Dragon Balls to Piccolo, using them to lure him to your location. You missed the Mafuba, and ended up dying, leaving Earth and the Dragon Balls at the hands of quote unquote Piccolo. You got Chaozu killed, and had it not been for Goku, all because of Roshi's stupidity, the world would have been enslaved. Would have continued to be enslaved had it not been for Goku. Had it not been for quote unquote Goku. That's how you know Roshi's Roshi. So yeah, I do not like this useless, weak, overpowered Marisu perverted old man. So yeah. Then Yamcha. One of the only things I like better about the original Dragon Ball was they had Yamcha as a martial artist and a key user. For some odd reason, Yamcha in this film, despite being neither of those two things I just mentioned, this Yamcha was somehow more useful than the Yamcha in the entire series. This Yamcha, him robbing them was surprisingly a good thing, because they got to use his tools to excavate underground inside that volcano where the other Dragon Ball was. Then in the final battle, he had his hero moment where he told Bulma to run. With the Dragon Ball, and Bulma gave him the gun, and he decided to stay behind and stall the Ozaru so Bulma could get away with the Dragon Ball. The Ozaru knocked him out, and Yamcha got up later, and it depends on which ending you choose, shot or knifed Mai in the back, killing her, basically winning Bulma's fight. winning Bulma's fight for the team, and even despite being weaker, saving Bulma, saving Bulma. So the wimpiest and weakest Yamcha was the most useless, was the most useful Yamcha. Was the most useful of Yamcha. Then Piccolo. The only things I like better about Piccolo from the show is, number one, that Piccolo is stronger, and the Piccolo from the series is much more intimidating. Intimidating. James Monsters Piccolo, voice-wise, and why he never clearly made it clear what his plan was. His execution and carrying out of his plans was way better than the King Piccolo, who was an intelligent villain, but was a stupid, arrogant villain, and he only won most of the time because of the stupidity of the main cast members, like Roshi showing him his Dragon Balls. The Piccolo, everyone likes to brag about how awesome King Piccolo was. King Piccolo beat everyone, took over the world, only to have his reign of terror and beat Goku to an inch of his life, to the point that Goku couldn't even stand up. He beat Goku till he was basically crippled, till near crippled. Goku could barely even stand, and somehow Piccolo, who's supposed to be a Titan, lost to Goku. Then Goku puts a hole in his chest. Somehow, even though he has a hole in his chest, he can easily regurgitate an egg, despite the fact his cellular system is destroyed. He can easily regurgitate that containing the weaker Piccolo, containing the Piccolo Jr., Piccolo of Z. This Piccolo comes back. He does the same things. He batters and breaks every bone in Goku's body, to the point that Goku has to move his body with ki, and somehow Goku beats him with a flying headbutt. Piccolo here immediately had his own radar and started finding the seven Dragon Balls. The seven Dragon Balls managed with Mai's help, managed to plan and steal all seven Dragon Balls, and gain control of Goku as the Ozaru. It took Roshi and Gohan basically talking some sense into Goku, help Goku conquer the Ozaru and regain his human form. And everyone likes to talk about Abel, you like to talk about the short fight between Goku and Piccolo. This was more realistic. Instead of a cheesy, lame martial arts battle where both of you bruise up your bodies, this was a legitimate fight. Like Naruto, Yu Yu Hakusho, and those shows where you try to end it as quickly as possible. If you're trying to kill, first he tried to control Goku. When that failed, he tried to kill him. Notice his first attack was a ki blast, not a punch. Goku, Piccolo, and Gohan and Buu. Gohan during the Buu saga, fighting Super Buu. I'm talking with you. You want to destroy and kill someone, yet your first move is a punch. Your first move is a quote-unquote punch or kick. Your first move is a punch kick. His first move was blast. Then, when they tried the melee, Piccolo could have continued fighting for several more minutes, but what will be the purpose? You Goku evenly matched. You could see the shocked look on his face. Goku was evenly matched with him. Match with him. So no, he decided to take all of his power, put it into one blast, and Goku did the same thing, then stacked the Ozaru's power on top of it, Naruto style, on top of it, and flew towards Piccolo, Rasengan, Naruto style. The Piccolo from the show, when Goku went towards him, got a hole in his chest. I bet, yeah, this is you, Danny's D World, who talks about armor, who talks about Piccolo's armor in the film. That's why he has the armor. That's why he has the armor. It's meant to block. It's meant to block attacks. It's meant to block attacks. Whereas Piccolo from the show wears a purple muscle shirt. Wears a purple muscle shirt and what is that? What is that? What is that gown? A daishiki? A cheesy daishiki to a fight. To a fight. I bet he wish he had the armor when Goku put that hole in his chest. I bet he also wish he had the armor when Goku gave him that headbutt later. Like I said, everyone likes to brag how awesome and badass King Piccolo was. Piccolo, even back when Piccolo was legit in Dragon Ball, he was a joke, and he's a bigger joke now. Couldn't even destroy weak Frieza soldiers. Couldn't even beat weak Frieza. Struggled to kill weak Frieza soldiers, and he didn't even fight Frieza, despite the fact he was fused with Kami, which is stronger than the first level of Super Saiyan, which Frieza, of course, couldn't touch. And it's basically the new Yamcha of the team, and even fans agree. And fans whine about the treatment of Piccolo. So stop trying to brag about how awesome Piccolo was in the original Dragon Ball. They ruined him before DBE cut. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Now, and then next is the bully characters. Abel, the bully characters. Their whole purpose was to show you what Goku's life at school, give you a brief glimpse of what Goku's life at school was like, and some minor antagonists for Goku to fight before he faces the final boss, the villains of the film, and those characters who I was mad. Carrie Fuller, Agundis, and the other guys, I was mad these guys were in the film. Now these are some of my favorite characters in the Dragon Ball franchise. Yeah, they're the old school cool. They're the old school cool bullies. Cool, arrogant, violent jocks with cool baggy attire. And now, while it's different from the show that Goku wants to fit in with them, but them bullying Goku and Goku being an outcast is legit and realistic compared to what we see in Dragon Ball, which is fake. If you have powers like Goku, and only do fighting and stuff, some people would respect that, but there'll be those people who hate. Not only they hate you, they fear you. They will fear you and disassociate themselves from you. And leave you out of other stuff. It's not like Dragon Ball Z where they ooh and ah when they see Super Saiyan. No, when they do that, it's like X-Men, Marvel, DC, and Naruto. No, you bust out Super Saiyan powers and powers like that, people will fear you, people will hate you, and ostracize you for what you can, for the bad you can do with those powers. So, yeah. Well, let's move away from the characters for a while and go to the next one. Dragon Ball Evolution, unlike the Amazing Spider-Man films, wasn't 2 hours. If you're going to have a 2-hour movie, you better have story, development, action, and material to fill 2 hours. Marvel, Twilight, the DCU, they have all-star caliber cast members, actors, actresses, story and development and action to fill 2 hours. The Amazing Spider-Man has some of the worst acting I've ever seen in a superhero and summer blockbuster movie. The Amazing Spider-Man has some of the worst dialogue and screenwriting I've seen. They also have some of the worst special effects. Normally, special effects, I really don't care that much about, but in this film, this was a film where there was really nothing good except for Jamie Foxx and Dennis Leary in the first one, where there was nothing really good. There was nothing good. Where everything was bad. Everything was bad. The effects looked like a cartoon. No, Danny's D World, The Amazing Spider-Man's 1 and 2 were not comic books come to life. They were cartoons come to life. This was dumber, gayer, and more over the top than a cartoon. Like one guy in one of your videos clearing up some BS. Yeah, on your videos, Danny D World. One guy, I think his name was Wade Wilson. Anyway, the guy said Spider-Man is supposed to tell jokes inside a universe, not live in a universe that is a joke. Which is what the Amazing Spider-Man's 1 and 2 were. They were a cartoon, a garbage, crappy cartoon, come to life. Come to life. So yes, DBE wasn't 2 hours long. Next, going back to the original Dragon Ball franchise. Dragon Ball Evolution was better than the original franchise made by Akira Toriyama. When Dragon Ball Evolution came out, and this was true for Naruto and Bleach too, and every other modern-based show, every other modern-based franchise that came out, and it still happens today, and it repeatedly happens. When Dragon Ball Evolution came out, it was so awesome, and I went into it with low expectations. It was so awesome. I struggled to find anything that was good about the original show. About the original show. And actually, when I was with the supporters, I actually felt bad because there was nothing good about Dragon Ball, and I don't even like Dragon Ball. And I said to myself, should Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball franchise, get more respect? I mean, because DBE only exists because the original Dragon Ball was popular. But seeing you guys and Toriyama, you don't respect anything in DBE. I don't appreciate or respect anything in Dragon Ball. And Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball, borrowed ideas from other franchises and disgraced them. DBE and multiple other modern day franchises took those same ideas and did them right and did them better. But what we're trying to say was I struggled, and every time, see, even though Dragon Ball Evolution, I like to say Dragon Ball Evolution is my childhood, I was like 19 years old when this movie, I was like 19 years old when Dragon Ball Evolution came out. So I already had my childhood. Unfortunately, the original Dragon Ball franchise was my childhood. So I watched, and even though I like DBE more, I've always watched the original Dragon Ball series more, the original Dragon Ball franchise more. When I turn on DBE just makes it look terrible. There was nothing good about Dragon Ball except for the action, which gets old after seeing the same shitty fights over and over again. Then when it's a good fight, like Gohan versus Cell, Gohan versus Super Buu, Future Trunks versus Cell, when it's a good fight, it has a shitty, terrible climax. Yeah, I want to see more action. More action involving characters like Gohan, the androids, Pycon and the Warriors of the Dead, and the supporting Tien, Yamcha, the supporting characters. Nobody wants to watch a bunch of lame Goku, Vegeta, Beerus, Frieza epics, especially the Frieza one, where you try to convince me Frieza several sagas later when he couldn't touch Super Saiyan 1 is still a threat to the Z Fighters. But yeah, the action, which like I said, the action, Ocean, Japanese dub, they make Toriyama's atrocious, horrible writing, Ocean dub even makes it, even briefly, until you do research on the show, made his show, Toriyama's franchise and storyline seem better and more complex than it really was, just because of how awesome the Ocean dub actors and actresses deliver their lines. So that, and basically comedy, as much as I hate As much as I hate Dragon Ball for being a joke, the show is just that, a joke. This show is just that, a joke. A comedy, and last but not least, nostalgia. Last but not least, nostalgia. These are only 4 to 5 things to stop Dragon Ball from being the worst ever. That is truly the worst anime. That is truly the worst anime of all time. One of the worst cartoons of all time. And almost one of the worst thing, period. The comedy and nostalgia and those other 3 things I mentioned stop it from being the worst ever, man. Stop it from being the quote-unquote worst ever. The only thing worse than Abel, Danny's D-Roll, your Dragon Ball franchise is Jason Freeberg's Aaron Sutzer, those parody movies, Disaster Movie, Meet the Spartans, Epic Movie, and what was that other, those movies, the Soul Plane, the Afro-American airplane parody comedy movie, anything Marlon Wayans has done in the 2010s and now recent times, Marlon Wayans, and all those terrible comedy movies that come out, because at least DBZ is funny. The comedy characters do make you and make me laugh. Those are the good things about your franchise. Your franchise is the worst of all time. I struggle to say good things, so yeah. The action. Next, Fusion. That is the only thing Toriyama didn't ruin. That he created. Super Saiyan 4 and Broly, and even Cell aren't creations for him. Toriyama was, even though he's credited as the main creator of Cell, Toriyama was advertised to create Cell. Before Cell, Toriyama was going to go with Dr. Gero, an old man, and Android 19, a fat, clownish looking man, as our main bad guys. They were going to be a threat that ends the Z Fighters. Then the guy said, no, that's lame. That's lame. After in the last saga we got superpowered aliens, Saiyans, superpowered aliens, mutants, Frieza, Ginyu Force, Zarbon, Super Saiyans. You're gonna give us robots and cyborgs made on Earth as our bad guys? Change it. They brought Android 17 and 18. That's better, but still, how is that a threat to the Z Fighters? How is that a threat to the Z Fighters? And finally added Cell, a villain based in cellular biology, who started as the bug larva form and grew to the imperfect form and absorbed Android 17 and 18 to achieve his perfect from a character who was big enough and believable enough to take on the quote-unquote Z Fighters. And pretty much the savior. That was the highlight of that saga. Was the highlight of Dragon Ball, despite how atrocious it was. He was the savior of that god-awful saga. But yeah, Fusion's the only thing Toriyama created that he didn't ruin. He's ruined everything. The Super Saiyan, martial arts, comic books, fantasy, science fiction, every cool idea was ruined. I've said this once, I've said it 1,000 times about D's World. Everything that was ever cool was terrible and gay in his show. Was terrible, gay, and a disgrace in his show. Everything he's ever done. Journey to the West, ruined. Journey to the West, ruined. I'm going to get to the Journey to the West stuff later. Yeah. Then when the supporters, particularly Save Anime and Bury It, I think that's his name, MRC AAA 300, I think that was his name. I don't know, really don't care. When them started giving their true opinions on DBE, I started giving my opinions on Dragon Ball. I was being nice and being quiet for the Dragon Ball and respectful for the Dragon Ball Protest. Dragon Ball Z, that is the worst. Like I said, that is the worst thing ever, man. That's not even Michael Bay level. Yeah, there was a cool guy on here named, I think his name was Ryan Colstein. I think that was his name, who did a hilarious rant on DBZ calling it the Michael Bay of anime. No. They're not the Michael Bay. They're not good enough to be Michael Bay. At least Michael Bay, during his movies, he was actually trying. No, Toriyama, he's the same as He's a big budget, same as movies like Surf Ninjas and Three Ninjas, and those type of movies. That's what Dragon Ball Z is the quality. That's what Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z is the quality of. Yeah. Number 5. I've said this once. I've said it 1,000 times. If DBE was so awesome, if DBE was so awesome, why didn't Fox follow it? Why was more respect shown to X-Men and Fantastic Four? Now, Abel, no one has answered this, but Abel, you're the only one to ever try to defend and answer this one, and so I'm going to rip this apart. This will be the first new one. When 20th Century Fox did X-Men and Fantastic Four, they did show more respect towards them. When they did Fantastic Four, the original two, 2005 and 7, the issue with those films was, it was the same problem I mentioned with The Amazing Spider-Man. When people heard Fantastic Four, they were expecting the original stories from the 60s and 80s by the late Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. They were expecting those storylines. They were expecting those storylines. Instead, you give them the ultimate version, which was good, but made a bunch of changes. Particularly Reed Richards, who's more timid and weak in the more modern version, and Doctor Doom, who was this complex new type of bad guy, sometimes even an anti-hero, basically a straight up comic book, back to being a straight up comic book generic one-dimensional villain. Villain, and people hated that, but they did follow the comics. It was the Ultimate comics, especially the first one, with the second one also being based on the Ultimate, but having more elements of the originals, 60s and 80s version. Some more respect was shown to Fantastic Four. More respect was shown to those movies than X-Men. I've said it thousands of times. The X-Men movies. Well, up until Wolverine Origins, the X-Men, at the time we did the X-Men movies, that was 40 plus. You're talking about taking 40 plus years of comic book, over hundreds of issues, multiple characters, and cramming it all into a trilogy. You weren't going to do that. But those films, the X-Men movies, for that time, they were good, and they're still entertaining. The first 3 in Origins, at least. After that, when you started with First Class, that's where it started going downhill. But at least First Class, as an X-Men movie, is atrocious. But as a regular Marvel comic book movie, most of Marvel comic book science fiction movie, it's alright. As with Days of Future Past. Point is, more money, more time was given to those movies. Why wasn't the same given to Dragon Ball Evolution? Why did they give DBE basically the X-Men, Mortal Kombat, and Street Fighter live action film type adaptation, where we try to tell you multiple storylines in one movie, instead of the much superior Twilight Harry Potter style adaptation, where each saga will be divided by books. Now, DBE Dragon Ball was so bad, they tried to tell you, Dragon Ball Evolution tried to tell you four sagas in one. Both of the Piccolo sagas, the King Piccolo, the Piccolo Jr., the Saiyan, only instead of Raditz, is Piccolo who tells Goku about his origin. The Piccolo the Saiyan sagas, and at the end, Goku has a at the end, Bulma first has in her alternate outfit is a realistic version of future Trunks' Capsule Corp outfit, and in the last scene, another Easter egg, Goku had Vegeto's Guy from the Boo Saga. So that is like 3 to 5 sagas, 3 to 5 stories. Oh yeah, and the Emperor Pilaf saga. And the Emperor Pilaf saga, so that's like 4 to 6 sagas in one. The Emperor Pilaf saga, when Goku met Bulma. They try to tell you 4 different gigantic storylines basically in one movie. Well, why did they do that? Because your franchise sucked. Your franchise was garbage. Your franchise was garbage. If it was so good, why did they change it? So don't be trying to bring Fantastic Four and X-Men into this and the newest Fantastic Four. You're just saying it sucks because everyone else does, not understanding why it sucks. The new Fantastic Four, that was how you do a reimagining of the franchise. There was nothing wrong with the cast or anything. The film was just number one, boring. Number two, they focused way too much on science. They focused way too much on science, and the science was dumb as hell. Dumb as hell, like somehow hooking multiple N64 consoles up creates a parallel dimension. Science was a big part of Fantastic Four comic books, but that wasn't all of it. That wasn't everything. There was other stuff too. There was those two, and that's why those movies failed. You're just going along with the crowd and saying they fail because and saying they suck because everyone else does, not understanding why they suck. So once again, stop using other 20th Century Fox movies. The other movies were shown more respect than Dragon Ball, because Dragon Ball Evolution was because the original Dragon Ball sucks. It sucks so bad, all of those changes were made. If it was so good, why did he make all those changes? Which brings me to number 6. If me, a biased film snob, anime fan, Naruto, and many more things that I can't think of at the moment, if I were to say Dragon Ball Z sucks, and me just doing all this research and these rants for basically vengeance and entertainment, think of what hold on. Think of what Hollywood writers who are paid to research these franchises and develop them will think. With any other franchise, I would be mad with them being corporate and just basically being corporate cash in and just being about the money. But with Dragon Ball, I can't blame them because it's atrocious. Then I'm impressed numerous times they got something as good as Dragon Ball Evolution out of something as lame as Dragon Ball characters running around, fighting, killing people, causing problems, and spamming dragon testicles. They got something good out of that. 7. Dragon Ball Evolution, Green Lantern, Ninja Turtles 2014 and 16, Out of the Shadows, and the MCUs, and now the DCUs. My biasness towards those fandoms, towards those movies, doesn't negate the flaws of the Amazing Spider-Man films Part 1 and 2. So stop using them. To defend your Amazing Spider-Man film franchise. Or better yet, stop defending them because they suck and can't be defended. Next, Sam Raimi. The Sam Raimi films were iconic and a part of society. A big part of society in the 2000s. When people say Spider-Man, they mostly say Tobey Maguire. So when they were doing the Amazing Spider-Man, it was up to Sony. You have to try harder. You have to improve and remove the mistakes of the Sam Raimi, not repeat them. The philosophical scenes, like the crane scene, the New Yorkers throwing stuff at what's his name. The crane scene, you get rid of it. It's not in the comic books, it's not in the cartoons, why it is in the movies. And it works in the original Sam Raimi movies because that was a good movie. We were watching a great movie. The Amazing Spider-Man films, they put in the stupid scene with the kid and Rhino, the kid crane scene, in a terrible, cheesy, mediocre, try-hard, wanna-be good, but atrocious, bad movie. One of the worst comic book movie of all time. That's the difference, asshole. Yeah, you reprove on Sam Raimi's. Everything that was terrible, it gave about the Sam Raimi's was your films, The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, with none of the good stuff. Asshole, dumbass, sheep, low expectation motherfucker, in your words, Danny's D World. Next. This is the big one. Neither DBE nor the Amazing Spider-Man films followed or represented their source material. So, if we're being serious about, you should not have been in either one of these movies. If you're a fan of both franchises that spawned these movies, you shouldn't be in either one. They were both soulless corporate cash grabs. You can't bash DBE, but then point to the Amazing Spider-Man, the worst comic book movie ever, as a great movie. That does not exist. That is hypocrisy, that is arrogance, hypocrisy, dumbassery at its finest. Dumbassery at its finest. And you knew, once again, I've said it 1,000 times, you knew the Amazing Spider-Man films part 1 and 2 were terrible. And you didn't care. You went because you wanted to see Sinister Six spinoffs, as was the rest of you, Danny's D. Rome, The Protest. You wanted to see Sinister Six spinoffs. You didn't care if these movies were good. You didn't care if these movies were accurate, or once again, good. Yeah, they don't have to follow the comments, but you at least gotta put up something that's presentable. You didn't care. You want to see Sinister Six spinoffs, which you, Abel, this is you, because I had a huge problem. Not only that, I had a huge problem with you bashing and protesting DBE, but talking shit about the supporters. I don't even hang out or talk to any of the supporters anymore, but I'm going to defend them once again, one more time. You went to the Amazing Spider-Mans, you, Danny's D. World, and the rest of the Dragon Ball protesters who like the Amazing Spider-Mans. You went because you want to see Sinister Six and other character spin-offs. You didn't care if the first two movies were even good, which makes you, Abel, especially a sheep, a hypocrite moron, and you're the same dumbass you accuse us supporters. You knew this was bad. Then, let's talk about Dragon Ball. I mentioned earlier how much Dragon Ball sucks. Can you blame them for wanting to see the good stuff, like Cell, the Saiyans, even Majin Buu, and live action Super Buu and Kid Buu would have been awesome. Super Buu and Kid Buu would be very awesome, which I love now. The GT stuff in Brawly. Can you blame them for wanting to see that? Those are only good things about Dragon Ball. Then the other thing, wanting to see Super Saiyan stuff. This isn't even good anymore. Super Saiyan 4, Mystic, Broly's Super Saiyan form, and the GT ones are okay, but Super Saiyan is the worst transformation ever. But at the time, that was good. Can you blame them for wanting to see that? That was, at the time, that was one of the things that was good. And now, that isn't good. Those other forms in Fusion, those other forms I just mentioned in Fusion are good, but the Super Saiyans 1 through 3, atrocious, man. And don't get me started with God, Blue, and worst of all, the most ass pull transformation, Ultra Instinct. Those aren't even good anymore, because you blame people for wanting to see those. Those are those things that are ever good about your show, franchise, dumbass. So can you blame the supporters for wanting to see that? And now, I don't want to see that. That's not even good now. So, fast forward, it's just the other things. Yeah. Next, Dragon Ball sucks so much that when it comes to Dragon Ball live action film, I don't care how close it is. If they ever bring Dragon Ball back to the big screen, I don't care how close or accurate it is to the source material. Number one, I just want some kick-ass action with a good script and characters. I don't care how true it is. Oh, and Toriyama, the worst writer of all time. In any profession, in any medium, is the worst writer of all time. He not in any ways be involved. Every form of Dragon Ball made by him is atrocious, except for Super Brawly, and that was only good because Toriyama did it. Because it featured Brawly, which is not a creation of Toriyama's. Next, earlier I mentioned DBE and the Amazing Spider-Man special effects. One thing I'm getting sick of, you, Abel, and the rest of the Dragon Ball Protest. You quote unquote, coming at me. You quote unquote coming at me with bullshit. Talking about special effects as if in DBE's budget, as if it turns out I was right. It was actually, I said 45. It was first reported that it was 100 million, but I said no, it doesn't look like $100 million. It looks like $45 million, and it turns out James Monsters revealed it all, 30 million. And I'm glad they did that because you guys were ready in your protest sticks and stuff ready, so they would have flopped harder if they would have spent 100 on it. Like you will be watching the same movie with the same script, the same actors and storyline, only with 50 more dollars and 50 million more. 70 more $million, bringing it to 100. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I don't care about special effects. Yeah, they're important, but what you call most of the bad CGI in the film, I didn't notice. You know why? Because I'm focused on the characters, the action, and the storyline. That most of the bad CGI. This is with other films too. I don't notice. Special effects and other stuff are secondary. So shut the fuck up with the special effects. Low expectation motherfuckers. Dumbass motherfuckers. You need to stop watching live action adaptations of all time. When it comes to the chi blast, the Kamehameha, the ki blasts moments, no matter the projectiles, no matter what film I watch, no matter how much money you throw at it, the special effects look the same. The chi blasts look the same, no matter how much money you throw at it. They look the same in every movie. With the Amazing Spider-Man, that was a bad movie. Nothing was good. I sat there and sat through all that just for revenge and to say the benefit of the doubt. Oh, we watched it. Yeah, we saw it. We saw it all from beginning to end. That was boring. It was terrible. So the effects in that film, those GameCube era looking effects were atrocious. But yeah, shut the fuck up about special effects, dumbass. Like you will be watching the same movie with the same plot, same characters, actors, and actresses with the same special effects. Motherfuckers, you dumbass, low expectation motherfuckers, low standard motherfuckers, dumbass motherfuckers, you. Shut the fuck up. That goes out to each of you. Abel, XAM, Days D-World, Michael, Matt Killer, whatever your name is, shut the fuck up. Now, the next one. Abel, you haven't defended any of your fandoms. Yeah, the whole purpose of this is not anything new. The whole purpose of this was to once again show Abel I can bash on his fandoms, which yeah, the Amazing Spider-Man's, me protesting and helping tank those at the box office and bringing them back home to the MCU. Yeah, that is my vengeance. That is my payback for DBE. If I can't have the sequels to DBE, you cannot have the sequels and spin-offs to the Amazing Spider-Man films. That's how we play. We're not listening to a different opinion. We're not listening to a different opinion on DBE. That's how we roll. You can't have whatever it is you want. Call it whatever you want. Dictatorship. You said something about something of a dictator of a foreign country would say what I just said. I call it vengeance. I call it justice, and I call it evening the score, and more importantly, fairness, boy. Fairness. We listened to a different opinion on DBE, and it was going to be a retaliation for DBE. You haven't defended any fandom, and I gotta laugh at myself because I let you and your friends get away with this for 6 years. No, explain to me in great detail. I know why, but I want to hear it out of your mouth. I want to hear why you went to the Amazing Spider-Man's Part 1 and 2, and I'm never letting that go. I'm going to forever bother you and the rest about them. Why you went to the Amazing Spider-Man films 1 and 2, knowing they were bad. And I can understand going to the first one. But after the first one, each of you should have known what those movies were about, what Sony was about. Listen, why did you go near those movies? Why did you go near those movies? And for 6 years, you avoided the question. You avoided the question because you're a moron. You're a sheep. You're a hypocrite. You're an easily entertained. You're an easily entertained moron. You're a low expectation, low standard motherfucker. You got shitty taste in movies. You're a poser when coming to comic books. You don't know shit about the comic books because you wouldn't be at any of these movies. The Amazing Spider-Man's, X-Men First Class, and Days of Future Past. Nothing wrong with those last two. But if you were really this comic book fan, you would not be in any of these movies. Not even a Spider-Man fan. And I was offended by the lack of effort, by the lack of effort. You don't gotta be a comic book Spider-Man fan to see the bullshit that was in the Amazing Spider-Man's. So stop always trying to attack my other fandoms to excuse whatever fandom, to excuse your fandom. And like I said, you were a dumbass, and you still do this to this day. You believe just because you hate or dislike something, because you point out a flaw in something old, the whole world's gonna go back and watch that. And all of a sudden change their opinions on a certain franchise. Yeah, quit trying to convert people. Quit trying to change people. I can go all day with DBZ. DBZ, the Amazing Spider-Man's, and any other fandom you like that I am absolutely hate or can't stand, and you will still like them when it's over. So shut the fuck up. I like Dragon Ball Evolution. You like that stupid Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F movie and Super. I double dog anyone to defend Dragon Ball after defend and tell me Dragon Ball rocks after Gohan and Piccolo. Mystic Gohan and Piccolo fused with Kami struggled to beat Frieza soldiers. Gohan, who toyed with Perfect Cell, forcing him to blow himself up and come back stronger as Super Perfect Cell, and managed to beat Cell with Vegeta's and Goku's assistance and encouragement with one arm Kamehameha, toyed with Super Buu, forcing him to absorb Gotenks and Piccolo for knowledge, then later Gohan himself to take him out of the fight and be a match for Super Saiyan 3, for Goku's and Super Saiyan 3 and Mystic Gohan. These guys struggled to kill Frieza's soldiers, and Gohan lost to Frieza in under 3 hits. I double dog anyone. Tell me Dragon Ball Z was good after that. Then Vegeta, right when he had Frieza killed, Frieza somehow manages to blow up the earth before anyone could stop him. That quickly, and Wiz rewinds time, and Goku hits him with a Kamehameha wave. Rewinds time like some cartoon character, hits him with a Kamehameha wave and sends Frieza back to hell. I double dog any of you to tell me Dragon Ball Z rocks after something that trash, boy. Hollywood would never do something like that. Would never do any of those things I just mentioned. They did them because you idiots, you easily entertained morons, you sheep morons, low expectation motherfuckers said it was okay. Oh, and last but not least, I forgot this one on the list, but before I get out of here, another thing you kept mentioning, and each time I ripped it apart. 2 things actually. The first is Roshi. Oh yeah, is Goku and Roshi's and Yamcha's pervertedness. Each of you, this is you too, Danny's D World. Each of you have criticized the fact that Roshi was less of a pervert, and in this universe, Goku is more of a pervert. And yes, they did that because that's not accurate to the anime and manga, but that's realistic. I'm sorry. When it comes to Roshi, I told you this years ago, Danny's D World. You didn't listen back then. You're probably not going to listen now. You never listen when superior people and smarter people are talking. Roshi, who's supposed to be an honorable martial artist and monk, and is a proud pervert. With no shame. That does not exist. You can't be honorable and be a pervert. You can't be honorable, be a martial artist and be a pervert and have no shame. If he was just a random old man, that would be okay. But they're trying to tell us this is a martial artist, this is a fighter, this is a martial artist and a monk, and he's a proud pervert with no shame and is doing all those perverted things in the manga, and even more so in the anime. It's even worse in the anime. In Dragon Ball Evolution, it's there. He's a pervert, but it's toned down, and they made Goku and Yamcha more perverse because they're 18 and 30 years old in that movie. They're younger than him. Of course, they're going to be more horny and more perverted. It's not accurate, but it's realistic. And after seeing, this is another thing that I saw was real. I am not going back to Dragon Ball's fake shit. After seeing all this real, this realistic Dragon Ball, I'm not going back to their fake shit. Next one, Abel, was you constantly mentioning the chaperones at Bulma's party. In order to completely rip apart this fake plot hole that you tried to introduce in the series, I went and did a bunch of research. Firstly, Goku never made it to the entryway. Made it to the entryway of the party. So the chaperone, he was there. Go check International Movie Database. I don't remember his name, but he's on the International Movie Database as part of the cast. But anyway, Goku never made it to the entryway of the party. The bully, Agundis, stopped him before he could go in there. Go in there. Then after the fight scene, Chi-Chi off screen let him in. Chi-Chi and the chaperone said he was on the list and let him into the party. So stop with the bullshit. DBE had problems, but it's not that. It's not that. They had problems. Their problems. Their number one problem. This was their biggest one. Was not making the story accessible to newer viewers. You want new viewers, yet you make it for people who've seen Dragon Ball before and who will hate it because it's not what they grew up with. That was their first problem. And the second problem is, I forgive this problem because Dragon Ball Z does this all the time. They showed Goku learning everything else in the film, but they never showed him learning the epic prayer that he says at the end. I'll excuse that. They probably cut that from the film and forgot to add it in all of the final products. I'll forgive that because Dragon Ball Z does that all the time. Characters and being weak in one arc, then a couple of episodes later or one arc later, off screen, showing up with new moves, new powers, and relative strength with no explanation how they obtained that strength because it was done off screen. So, yeah. So with that being said, finally, that's everything. I'm finished. Nothing left to do now than happy dance, super kick party.